Forget what pop culture has taught you about demons. The most terrifying truth is not that these entities exist, but that the entire field of demonology is treated by scholars as a science. It's an occult science, complete with distinct methods of classification, hierarchy, identification, and complex rituals of summoning, command, and exorcism. It is the study of spiritual warfare, a constant battle between good and evil. And here is the forbidden secret. Most people get the nature of a demon completely wrong. They are not inherently evil, they are simply independent actors. Today, Nocturne Demonology is going deep into the forbidden grimoires. We're not just discussing the 7 princes of hell and the deadly sins they represent. I will reveal the highly debated, controversial truth about demons who actually worship God and the terrifying, real-life instructions from the Red Dragon Grimoire on how to summon and enslave Lucifer himself. Demonology is the study of demons, which are essentially evil spirits, though that definition will be challenged in a moment. These spirits have the ability to influence the physical world, including ourselves, animals, and observable events. Hundreds, if not thousands of grimoires have been written on this exact subject. This occult science is just as important to the devoutly religious as it is to those who seek to control demons for their own nefarious purposes. Understanding the nature of demons is key to protection. The ultimate goal of this spiritual warfare is to test one's faith in God through temptation and manipulation. The term demon is actually derived from the Greek word daimōn, which simply means a supernatural entity or spirit. In ancient Greece, this term was not negative at all. These daimons could be either good or bad, or even completely neutral. The philosopher Socrates talked about his own daimon as a spiritual muse who inspired him to seek the truth of reality. Over time, that word evolved to specifically classify malicious entities that would be blamed for deathly diseases, mental illness, or terrible and unlikely events. Perhaps the earliest record we have of malicious demons comes from the magical texts of ancient Mesopotamia, where 7 evil entities called Udug were recorded. They were described as dark shadows with a distinct absence of light and an incredibly loud, even deafening voice. Instructions on how to exorcise these demons make up some of the earliest Sumerian texts, dating back to over 5,000 years ago. From a Christian perspective, demons are directly connected to the idea of angels. In ancient Christianity and Judaism, demons were believed to be fallen angels, angels who committed sin and were permanently expelled from heaven. If regular angels essentially operated as robots programmed by God, then fallen angels would have broken their programming and gone off to do their own thing, sometimes having sexual intercourse with human women simply because they found them beautiful. Satan himself was supposed to be a former high-ranking angel whose original heavenly name was Lucifer. All demons, including the devil himself, are creations of the Almighty God, who essentially gives them permission and power to wreak havoc on earth and tempt humans. It's often said that King James of the King James Version of the Bible strongly emphasized that demons act under God's permission as a rod of correction. This means demons are essentially angels that failed to follow God's instructions. They aren't inherently evil, but more independent actors that are not so different from a human in terms of actual morality. Some demons may actually be good, and believe it or not, there are demons who worship God. We see this many times in the Bible, where demons actively submit to Jesus' authority, automatically bowing or even throwing themselves to the ground to worship him. Demons are of the same nature as regular angels. They are non-physical, celestial, and immortal. They are not omniscient, but they often have a specialized body of knowledge. This body of knowledge can be as broad as natural philosophy and ethics, or as narrow as poisons and herbal remedies. Their power comes from heaven, but is carefully limited by God. While we think of them as living in hell, the Gospel of Luke describes them wandering endlessly in dry places. Their only real home is said to be inside people, animals, or idols. Our typical image of a horned demon comes largely from the book of Revelation, but the Bible makes it clear that demons can take on any physical form they want, including forms we consider good or even holy. 2 Corinthians says that demons can appear as false apostles masquerading as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. The most deceptive are the incubus and succubus, whose goal is to seduce through seduction. The succubus takes the form of a seductive woman, but is actually a male entity. The succubus takes the sperm of a man, transforms into an incubus, and then uses that sperm to impregnate a woman. This is how theologians explain the fallen angel's birth of children with human women in the book of Genesis. Archdemons command legions of demons, much like archangels. The most consistent hierarchy surviving into modern day is based upon the infamous 7 deadly sins. 1. Pride. Lucifer, the original fallen angel, associated with pride, as he always looked down at the gold pavement of heaven instead of up at God. 2. Envy. Leviathan, a demonic sea serpent, one of the first 3 angels to fall from heaven. 3. Wrath. Satanus, Satan, the fallen form of Lucifer, represents pure, unbridled fury. 4. Sloth. Belphegor, is said to be the laziest and most neglectful of all former angels, tempts humans with easy wealth or little effort. 5. Greed. Mammon, a fallen angel who constantly looked down at the gold pavement of heaven, the embodiment of material obsession. 6. Gluttony. Beelzebub. His name literally translates to Lord of the Flies, associated with overconsumption and excess. 7. Lust. Asmodeus, depicted as a hideous chimera, man, ram, bull, dragon tail. Ironically, he represents lust and temptation through seduction. Beyond the princes, medieval grimoires contain very long lists, organized by office, rank, and title. The 1818 Infernal Dictionary assigned surprisingly mundane ranks to lesser demons. For example, Nibus was the Grand Buffoon, and Nisroch was the chief of the kitchen. How many demons are there? The Book of Revelation suggests that 1/3 of all angels turned into fallen angels. The demonologist Johann Wehr calculated the number of demons in existence as 4,439,622. This was divided into 66 legions, each made up of 6,666 demons. Bishop Alfonso de Spina calculated the exact population of demons as a staggering 133,316,666. When you talk about summoning a demon, you're referring to Solomonic magic. King Solomon, the builder of the first temple in Jerusalem, is said to have been one of the most powerful magicians and exorcists to ever live. This text documents how Solomon built his temple by means of summoning and commanding powerful demons, using a magical ring engraved by God. The ring bore the seal of God, which is a pentagram. The seal is used to stamp the chest of a demon in order to enslave them. The seal, or sigil, of every individual demon is their primary vulnerability. Solomonic magic is corrupting. Solomon himself fell victim to it, ending up worshiping demons in exchange for sex. A real religious order of Roman Catholic theologians known as the Carmelites was involved in a massive scandal for being publicly open about their non-heretical demon-summoning practices. They eventually admitted to summoning demons to win sexual favors from women and discovered the locations of buried treasure. These instructions come from a demonic grimoire known as the Red Dragon, which is said to have been discovered in 1750. It is one of the most powerful and dangerous texts in existence. The summoner draws an intricate magic circle and a magic triangle outside the circle. The user can choose to give up special tools in exchange for a binding contract, selling their soul. If Lucifer does not appear after the first few spells, the summoner must use a tool called the explosive rod. The user is instructed to dip the end of the rod into a cursed pit of fire. This results in the terrifying screams of millions of tortured souls from hell to force Lucifer to act. The user then performs the Great Kabbalah Invocation, which must be recited twice with absolute perfection. The final piece of the puzzle is possession, which occurs when a demon breaks free from its hold. The Catholic Church maintains a team of officially recognized exorcists. They must establish moral conviction, absolute belief that they are dealing with a genuine case of demonic activity before performing an exorcism. They speak in a language unknown to the victim, reveal precise knowledge of past, present, or future events, intense hatred of holy icons, unusual body convulsions. Their voices change to strange, archaic, and inhuman. The ritual is a confrontation, a real battle. The exorcist must proceed and continue praying, always in Latin, no matter what happens or how long it takes. The Roland Doe case required 3 separate trials and 4 priests, one of whom had a broken nose. We've covered the origins of demonology as a science, the terrifying logic of the 7 princes, and the forbidden knowledge used to summon and enslave them. The ultimate lesson remains: demonology is a study of power and temptation. It is a stark warning that even the most intelligent and faithful, like King Solomon, can be corrupted. If you feel like the grand buffoon of hell is messing with your finances, Mammon, or your discipline, Belphegor, understanding their nature is the first step toward reclaiming your soul. If you found value in this deep dive into the obscure and the terrifying, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. Next week, we are diving into the history of witchcraft and diabolical cults, including the infamous Black Mass and the ritualistic worship of Satan's followers. Stay curious, stay safe.